Have you ever encountered someone whose presence was so captivating and alluring that you couldn't help but to study them? You were so drawn to them, but you didn't really understand why. See, you are so much more than a physical body. You are a field of energy. Unseen, silent, yet magnetic, your aura will often speak before you do, shaping reality, pulling in people and experiences into your orbit. Every thought and feeling you have etches itself into this field. And the universe will then respond. See, the language of the universe does not speak in the various words and tongues of man. The universe responds to your energy and your frequency that is being emitted from your soul. And so when we are truly seeking to attract what we desire and not solely what we want, we have to be reminded of what the law of attraction teaches us. This law states that the universe is not responding to simply your words. The universe is responding to the frequency and energy that you are emitting. This exchange between the universe and yourself is known as a form of magnetism. That is the same magnetism that you would feel in the presence of anyone that you felt very captivated by or intrigued by. Magnetism is rooted in two various aspects of ourselves, right? One aspect being our aura, our auric fields, and the other being our vibe or our vibrational field. You've ever heard a song or you've ever met people that you tend to just sync up with. You guys are vibrating on the same frequency. It is the same with anything that you are attracted to, whether it's music, any type of frequencies outside of yourself. The reason why you are experiencing that magnetism with it is because you are operating on the same vibrational frequency. So as we just stated, our vibe is the frequency in which our body resonates at. And that's very important when you are trying to figure out what is it that you want to pull into you and attract towards you. You have to be very intentional with your vibe. Your aura, however, is an electromagnetic biofield that responds to various forms of external energetic manipulation. See, our aura is responsible for keeping us connected, not only just to the universe, but in alignment with our vital life force energy in various different centers and regions in our body. This is also known as chi. And so when our aura at any level is compromised, it kind of disconnects us from the bigger picture, our source, and doesn't allow us to have the magnetism that we are desiring when we are trying to achieve certain levels of attraction. The human body is a transmitter and a receiver of the vital life force energy we were just discussing, chi. It can be found in all things on earth and found on 4 different layers of existence at once. One being spiritual, astral, mental, and etheric. Now, within these 4 layers, we have what I like to call our energetic skin. And so you have to look at this as yourself, right? We always have to start at the physical and then break it down energetically. The yellow outlining you in the physical would be known as your etheric body. Your etheric body, think of it as just the basic energetic blueprint outlining your physical body. Your emotional body, outlining that, can be just known as your emotions and your feelings, right? Then we have our mental body. That just encompasses all of your thoughts, right? And so these 4 bodies or 4 levels of yourself would be the most dense, and they would stay contained in the physical realm. Outlining the mental body in purple here It might be a little hard to see, but there is a dark green body encompassing these, which would essentially just represent unconditional love for others. And that would be known to be your astral body. And this body sits in a plane all on its own. And this would be considered the astral realm. Next, we have our etheric template, which is encompassing our astral realm and our physical realm. In this template, it is just encompassing our soul's mission and purpose. Next, we have our celestial body, which is the dark blue, just representing our unconditional love for all of creation. We have our causal body, which is the furthest reaching of our auric bubble or field, which just represents our connection to source consciousness. All three of these would be in correlation to our light realm. And so within the three realms, think of it as a spectrum. One, of course, representing low, which would be our physical realm, and the other side of that spectrum being high. This spectrum would represent levels of consciousness and vibrational frequency. See, this truly depicts what our aura actually is as our energetic skin. Think of it as a bubble encompassing your physical body that extends in front of you, behind you, and to both sides of you. That is, again, why when you meet some people, they are so magnetizing, they are so captivating. Sometimes when you meet people, their aura and their presence will fill the room. Like I said, our aura speaks before we do. So you want to make sure that your aura field, your causal body, is as strong as possible so that you can be in the control seat of all the things that you truly desire, and to ensure that you are not attracting things that you don't truly want, because either one of these bodies are out of alignment. And because your auric field is in constant interaction with so many external factors and energies, it is highly likely that energy will become stuck within you. One thing that can lead to a weakened aura is chakra imbalances and blockages. See, our chakras are necessary for transmitting the life force energy that is existing all around us into the vibrational frequencies that we need to operate throughout this world. And so once blockages occur, it can lead to feelings of fear and doubt. But the way to counteract those blocked chakras is to engage in binaural beats, sound bowl healing frequencies. I believe one is like solfeggio frequencies. All of the music is so powerful. All of these frequencies will aid in the repair of your DNA and these various bodies that you have within the physical realm. The next one that we have is energetic cords, right? Energetic cords to external things. This is what that would look like. Energetic cords. And these energetic cords can be connections to people, places, things, possessions, pets, anything outside of you. And these energetic cords are natural in and of themselves. You know, we are connecting with things constantly. That is the way that we operate as humans, right? And every cord that we establish energetically is not inherently negative or bad. But when we do have energetic cords and ties to things outside of ourselves, it will deplete our life force energy, that chi that our aura is responsible for bringing in, right? Our chakras is responsible for transmitting throughout our organ systems, our energy systems and sensors, period. It will deplete us of that energy that we are trying to bring in, leading us to feel drained, leading us to feeling a lot of just heavy and dense feelings. And so in order to alleviate those aspects of, you know, your aura that is weakening you, is to just do cord cutting mantras. There's a lot of them on YouTube, and you can also do a lot of deep journaling, like emotion dumping and just kind of really sitting with yourself, repeating certain affirmations to yourself so that you can remove that person from your energetic fields and remove their energy and their residue from your energetic field. It happens to the best of us, but once we are aware of it happening and it being the source of our weakened aura, then we can work to strengthen that weakness. Next, we have energy vampires. Energy vampires are the worst, but they are so prevalent. They are so prevalent. They are amongst all of us. You may have even become one at one time. Energy vampires will sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally drain you of this life force energy we're talking about. And that is their whole mission. Like the whole, I want to suck your blood, like they want to suck your energy. I'm not sure if it is a sense of they are unable to create their energy for themselves, or they're just in a space temporarily where they need other life force energy to sustain themselves. And so a lot of the times energy vampires will come in the form of people needing, you know, a shoulder to lean on, or some type of transaction where your energy is given to them. They walk away feeling energized and you are left feeling depleted, feeling like what just happened, overwhelmed, drained. You just encountered an energy vampire and they got what they wanted. And so in order to prevent, you know, this type of interaction, it is to become aware of it, become aware of those people or, you know, things in your life that are draining your energy, and limit the exposure to those things. Create boundaries and ground yourself in your energy. Familiarize yourself with your energy so that you are aware and can tell when, you know, things are kind of coming into your auric field and disrupting your natural flow. The next one is being ungrounded, right? And so I'm going to draw some roots down into the ground and I'm going to put being ungrounded. This one is very easy to become because there's a million and one things on our mind at all times. And when you are ungrounded, a lot of the times you are too stuck in your mental body. You are too stuck in your mental body. That's where the phrase is coined, you know, like head in the clouds. You know, you are in a daze, you're in a daydream, you're not in the present moment. And this happens a lot for people that are air signs. A lot of the times it is easy for you to become like aloof. The way that you can kind of counteract that airiness is to just become more grounded. And so one way that I like to become grounded is to meditate and think of yourself having roots extending from either your root chakra or your feet going down into the earth. And think of these as your energetic cords connecting you and grounding you to the earth. If you've ever did like any grounding techniques with your bare feet or hugging a tree, you know, this is just representing a disconnect with source and nature as a whole, you know. So you want to be sure to ground yourself and journal and try to kind of remain in the present moment and practicing mindfulness so that you are not so stuck in your mental body. You are able to be in the present and enjoy the present for what it is. So the next one is very, very important and prevalent. I think this is the one thing that we all are experiencing. If you are not experiencing anything else on the list that is weakening your aura, this for sure is, because we cannot control it. Everyone having this human experience before they do the work and is aware of the tools that is needed to do the work is under psychic attack. When it comes to a psychic attack, it is a literal, energetic, spiritual, mental, all of your bodies is under attack. And it is due to the manipulation of the energy, which is you. And because your energy is being manipulated, it really alters your well-being. I like to think of it as like the watchers, the whole concept of the watchers, entities, not people, entities being here to kind of perpetuate a certain vibrational frequency for the masses. That's what I like to think about it as. And so, like I said, that's why I feel like all of us pretty much is under that attack. That attack alone will significantly weaken your aura because, like I said, you're under attack in all of your bodies. There's no way that this psychic attack being implemented will allow you to have strength energetically. But the key thing here is the psychic attack only works if you allow it to. Once you are aware that you are under psychic attack, you can free yourself. And that's what knowledge does. That's why knowledge is so oppressed, because once you have the knowledge that is needed to free yourself, you have the tools now to free yourself and operate on a higher vibrational frequency. Like we were saying with the energy vampires, you want to limit the exposure to all of the things that you can that attack you on all of these different levels. Take back control of your spiritual currency, which is your attention. Be mindful of what you pay your attention to. Everything is not deserving of your energy. Your energy is priceless. You can't, there is no even exchange for your energy. So be very mindful and meticulous with what you allow to attain your attention. And that is how you kind of kick the psychic attack out of your mainframe. And I'm telling you, once you become intentional with your energy, that goes for people, that goes for things. Watch how much more energy you retain for yourself. And once you continue to familiarize yourself with your energy, that's the stronger it's going to get. The more confident you're going to feel, the more willing to embrace your own authenticity, which is going to help you to attract, because you are living in your own authenticity. That is the key to magnetism, authenticity. And so the last one is spirit attachments. And this one's very interesting because I don't feel like it applies to everyone, but there are people that it does apply to, right? And so spirit attachments could just be correlated to like entities that are heavy and dense in energy and frequency, which is what you don't want to be at the time of transition. And this density can come from fear, it could come from doubt, it could come from energetic cords that they still have to people, places, things outside of themselves. That's why practicing detachment is so important, because you want to be light as a feather. If you've ever heard about the laws of Ma'at, the Egyptian goddess, she is known to desire for your heart space to be as light as a feather in order for you to enter the halls of Amenti at the time of transitioning. And without getting too much into all of that, spirit attachments are a very real thing, because once an entity becomes trapped in that in-between, sometimes they seek to torment the living, and they can do so by way of thought forms, which is why it is important to remember that every thought you have is not yours. This will be coming into the mental body and the astral body, I feel personally, because they can enter, your thought forms. They can make you think that you're thinking things you actually are not thinking, to manipulate your energy. They also can cause severe anxiety and depression, as well as, some people even hear voices. And that's why I feel like a lot of the things that are dubbed, mental health is actually more than just that. It's actually a phenomena that is occurring because we are all energetic beings. But that is just something that is used as a generic term to box, everything in. But if you look into a lot of the disorders that are in the DSM V5 or whatever it is, you'll see that it's like, okay, these have a very spiritual, correlation to them. Like I said, anxiety, depression, and hearing voices, we all know, that's a form of schizophrenia. So it's just very interesting to keep that in mind, that when you are experiencing some things like that, it's not always you that is experiencing it. It's not like, you want to experience anxiety or depression or anything like that. No, sometimes there are things that are truly unseen, tampering with your energy, that is causing you to feel certain ways. But because it's not seen in the flesh, it's not being considered. And so, like we were saying, all of these things that we've mapped out in our auric field on our energetic skin causes us to have a weakened aura. Protect your energy. It's very cliche to say, but it's so for real. You have to protect your energy. You have to become selfish with your energy. You have to become intentional with your energy, because there are things out here truly seeking to weaken you, to drain you, if you allow it. And that's where the power will always lie. And I will always remind you that the power lies within you, and nothing will ever happen to you if you don't allow it to, energetically. So protect your energy. Protect your energy. Protecting your energy and being intentional and mindful with your energy will inherently raise, let's use a different color to really emphasize. Raise your frequency. And once you have raised your vibration, this will take a weak aura. This will take a weak aura to a strong aura. Because again, when you are vibrating at a low frequency, think of it being heavy, think of it being dense. So you're operating from a place of doubt and fear, uncertainty. When you have a strong aura, you are operating from a place of gratitude, abundance. And so when you are truly seeking to desire anything, do you want to desire things from a place of doubt, fear, and uncertainty? Do you truly want to attract anything in your life when you are operating from this place? Or do you want to identify, if you are in this space, what is causing your aura to be weak from the things that we've previously discussed? And how can you get it to a strong aura and then begin to magnetize and attract? Because that's what a strong aura does. It attracts.